with me because he agrees with me. We've talked about this. There is no victim in what happened on Thursday night. Mason Rudolph at no point acted as a professional adult with his behavior. There was no flag thrown for the hit. Even if there was a flag thrown, the way he acted on the ground is not how you act. That's why there's rules. Other quarterbacks get hit all the time late. They don't do that kind of crap. It does not excuse what happened to him or what was done by Myles Garrett. But this is the problem, America. If you have kids, and I'm going to use my kids as an example because my daughter likes to do this. My daughter, for example, pulls my son's hair, who is 18 months and 1 day older. He's a big boy. He punches her. When I go to talk to my kids, I do not tell my daughter that what she did is okay because she got punched in the face. They get separated. I talk to them separately and tell each one where they were wrong. Period. And both will get punished because they both did wrong. That's what happened here. In a nutshell. No victim. All that did anything should be punished because they're all adults and shouldn't have to act like a bunch of Neanderthal morons, because if my kids acted like that, they'd get their ass beaten in trouble. Like, stop making victims.
I got to mention this first. Why does Mason Rudolph, guys, look like the epic, like, poster man for the 1996 frat jock enemy for every teen movie?
Yeah, all he needs is some frosted tips.
Really? He needs frosted tips, a Letterman jacket, and he's like, oh, what are you going to do? Carry those books, huh? Like, he just does stupid frat jock enemy in all the teen movies 96 to the 2000s.
And his behavior to set that fight off was exactly in character what you just described.
I was going to get to that, mister. God. No, so piggybacking off of that, I agree with Jay. So all three guys here that got either a fine or suspension had a wrong moment in this. And Rudolph had multiple wrong moments along with Garrett. Garrett, brother, if you just could have dropped the helmet, thrown some punches, it would have maybe been a 1-game suspension. But Rudolph dug in Garrett's face mask, kicked him in his groin when he was on the ground, and on top of that, tried to pull his helmet off, but no one wants to mention that. And then on top of that, after Garrett pulled his helmet off, Garrett got pushed away by David DeCastro. His own offensive lineman was trying to break it away. And what does Rudolph do? Reinitiates contact with, like, in that circle of going back into Myles Garrett's circle and charges him. Sorry, I don't have any pity for Rudolph. Everyone's like, yeah, hit with a helmet. Well, he shouldn't have charged with no helmet to a guy that's 6'6", 280 pounds, and it's one of the most physical genetic freaks. So I don't feel bad for him. They all had their wrongs.
Folks,
Garrett just
he got hit in
wrong.
the head with the helmet because he went back. He did the old, hold me back, bro, except for the other person was holding the other guy back, so he ran back over because DeCastro pushed him about 3 or 4 feet away. He walked back over, and what he was trying to do and got stopped short of was he was going to take a swing at Garrett. Garrett sees him getting back in his face, reaching around, and ends up counteracting that and hits him with the helmet. If he would have stayed back in the first place, he would have never got hit. That's the problem here. There was an issue on the ground. Like Dave said, once he got up, DeCastro separates him. Rudolph's the one that reinitiated before the helmet strike. Like, so
to me,
again,
that deserves a 1-game
how is he a
suspension
victim here?
That was de-escalated, and then it re-escalated.
Because he walked over there clearly to try to get some more because his buddy had a hold of the guy that outweighs him by about 70 pounds and is about 4 or 5 inches taller and can grab him with one arm and beat him like Bam Bam. And so then he decided he was going to get tough guy again because he's exactly what you described. He looks like it. The character he involved in that last night is exactly that. That's what everybody that's ever played football has had to get away from is dudes like that act like that because I'm a football player and I'm a quarterback. You can't touch me. Hey, hey, hey. I'm badass. I'm the best. Bush League. The whole thing was crappy, but you know what? Mason Rudolph, I'm so tired of that. Oh, poor Mason. Now fuck Mason Rudolph and his dumbass shit.
And I'll say this. Mason Rudolph is no Big Ben Roethlisberger, but he's still 6'5", 230 pounds. INTs, though. And Myles Garrett picked him off of the field by his face mask like he was a child. That was something.
Like I said, you don't run helmetless at a guy that's 6'6", 280.
Dude, that 280 is like 280 of hardened steel. His 230, you look at his face, he's about 90% baby fat.
That's listen, folks. For everyone listening, I'm sorry if I'm cursing, but Myles Garrett's a brick shit house.
I'm sorry I'm cursing too, but I mean there becomes a point when like
limb from limb if
we go too far as a society. We go too far on social media. Like this is not a situation where we need to be defending one of these. We need to be treating all these guys and making them all be accountable for their dumbass actions on the field on Thursday night. And instead, we're making one jughead that really initiated the whole thing because of his dumbass attitude in the first place, because he can't take a hit. Whether it was a late hit or not, there was no flag for the hit. There's no penalty for the hit. So, like, stop talking about how late the hit was. He just a little pansy-ass pussy that is a quarterback, and you don't want to get hit. So he was getting his little temper tantrum on the ground, and he got his ass beat for it. And then once he couldn't take that, he had to wait for another one of his friends to take the pressure off him to try to play the little nip ankle biter dog and come back at him, and he got his head beat in with his own helmet.
There's also one more thing I had to clear up. I know this is a pregame, but I got to clear this up. A certain individual on Monty's thread earlier today for Twitter, Pam Kling Jones is her name. And this woman tried to go out and like compare Garrett to guys like Greg Hardy and Eldon Smith and the crap they pulled. This is one incident, folks, that Garrett has pulled, trying to drop the term, oh, he's a thug. Ma'am, no offense, but I think you're a Caucasian woman that
you have no idea
just saw
what
color
a thug
and
really is.
No, I think she
they
saw color.
They don't exist on a football field for sure.
I think she saw color and she automatically labeled the term thug. Garrett had this one incident that came. There's a reason why he came unglued. I think he also was name called one of the most worst words in the English in the English language. It was the N-word, and I think Mason Rudolph called him that because in the tunnel, quote unquote, Mr. Garrett even said, "I'm not going to let that Make America Again cracker call me that ever again." When he went in the locker room. So I think something was said. I don't.
You sure he didn't call him a jive turkey?
Oh, that might have done it too. His daddy might have got mad at that one. But that's the thing. You've seen Myles Garrett have personal fouls in games, but you've never seen him come unglued. Ever. And soon as Garrett started getting his helmet pulled off and got up and got kicked in the groin, I don't know. It just looked like there was a moment of pause, and then something was said, and then that's when he just ripped the helmet off.
I think it's still pent-up rage from when he got punched in traffic. I'm just not sure.
From that one guy that ran up, hey, a photo up.
Somebody in Cleveland who owns a blue Chevy Cobalt is laughing right now because they got away with punching Myles Garrett, and Mason Rudolph got whacked over the head.
But, yeah, anyways... And that I'm just sorry. Don't call someone like Myles Garrett a thug. He had one incident. There's plenty of people that have incidents and still come back, and they don't have anything else for the rest of their careers. Stop using the thug word. I'm sorry. It's silly. It's a really lazy concept to use. But anyways, let's get out of that rabbit hole, tunnel, cave that we just went in. Dillon, what is our next game?
Back into divisional matchups, we have the no one circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills taking the trip. Yeah. To Miami. Welcome to Miami. Ryan Fitzpatrick, Devontae Parker. Got to. We can party on to the break of dawn, and we can watch the Dolphins lose to these Buffalo Bills. Currently, the Buffalo Bills are if I say Buffalo Bills one more time, if the Bills are a 6.5 point favorite,
you don't need to announce it.
We have an over-under of 40.5. Injuries for this game include Ken Webster, cornerback for the Miami Dolphins. He's going to be out. Taco Charlton, Rashad Jones, Raekwon McMillan, all questionable with injuries. Guys, I know we didn't have much hope for the Dolphins anyways, but they've been putting up a fight as of recently, and this could be a trap game for those Buffalo Bills. How do you feel about it?
I think the Bills right the ship here. I think Josh Allen comes out, plays a little bit better QB game than we've seen him past couple games. I don't see a reason why Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to try and create Ryan Fitzmagic tomorrow.
Another revenge game.
I mean, he tried to carry the team on his back last time they faced off and did a rushing touchdown. I don't think that happens again.
Oh, that was awesome.
I think all the defenders you just told me that was out. I think Cole Beasley, Dawson Knox, and John Brown are drooling right now.
Yeah, Beasley is one of my favorites in this matchup. Jay, how do you feel?
Well, again, I think if fantasy-wise we're talking yardage, yeah, they might eat a lot. But scoring-wise, Bills 17-10.
Yeah, I like most of the options for Buffalo. I like John Brown. I like Cole Beasley. I like Devin Singletary a lot. Actually, we had a First and Goal fan ask about a flex position this week. I told him definitely go with Devin Singletary. And on Miami's side of the ball, listen, the Bills have a formidable defense, don't get me wrong, but they are 10th worst in defending the running back. Kalen Balazs has seen 20 carries the past 2 weeks. I mean, eventually you're likely to fall into the end zone at some point against one of these teams. So Balazs could have a streamable, flex-worthy day himself. And if you're doubting Devontae Parker, because I do think Tre'Davious White is probably the best cornerback in the NFL that we don't talk about.
Yep.
He just shuts people down, and because he's in Buffalo, it's just not a big market, and we don't talk about him as much. But he's as good as any cornerback in the league right now. That being said, Devontae Parker did score a touchdown against him last time they met, and that was at Buffalo. So I do still have confidence in Parker. I just don't think it's going to be the type of game that'll win you a week. Parker's a flex-worthy play as well. But, yeah, Buffalo wins this game. I'm going to say 20-10.
Yeah, I'm going Buffalo on that. I think they win 24-13 or 24-10 as well. I don't think it's going to be close.
Just scraping the bottom of that bag.
Old trash panda licking the bag.
My goodness. This guy's had a rough day.
That's how you know the popcorn is bad. We got to wash it down with Keystone Light.
I'll say.
No, it's the saltiness that goes with the beer. Popcorn, peanuts, chips, plain salted chips. It goes with the beer. Then you don't have to shake.
All right, guys. In keeping with the theme of divisional matchups, boy, this is a huge week for distinguishing yourself amongst your division, getting those head-to-head matchups won. You've got the Arizona Cardinals visiting the shorthanded San Francisco 49ers. Niners likely to be without George Kittle, Emmanuel Sanders, Matt Breida, Ahkello Witherspoon, Raheem Mostert also banged up, Joe Staley banged up with a finger injury.
Tevin Coleman's.
Yes, definitely player Tevin Coleman's. Maybe even Jeff Wilson Jr. makes his way back into the mix. Who knows?
The fourth stringer, woo!
Yep. Shanahan likes to keep us guessing. On the Cardinals side of the ball, Chase Edmonds is going to miss another game. After what we saw from David Johnson last week, I'm just not sure you can start him confidently, especially against a defense like this. Boy, Kenyon Drake is going to be a tough call because he has